Sorry, I don't need to say anything else. My goodness. But thank you so much, Larry, and thank you so much, the International Labor Rights Forum, for this very distinguished award. I don't expect to get rewards or recognitions for work that some of us in the room know should go to other people. I have to brag. I have to say I have a tremendous staff at the Department of Labor, and I've been very fortunate in the last 2 years to have, I think, a cadre of people who have worked well, not because it's a job, not because it's a paycheck, but because it's a cause. Which, if you're in the labor movement, you get what I mean. It's a cause. So you sacrifice and you do everything you can to make it right. And we work really hard. And I want to introduce, and so you can help me give her a round of applause, Mary Maxwell. Mary Maxwell. Labor liaison, and a lot of you know her. And I also have my assistant secretary for OSHA, Mr. Michaels, David Michaels. We have other staff in the room, but what's more important about anything I can say is what you all are doing. And this forum has dedicated themselves to helping provide protections in the workplace for combating child labor, forced labor, and employment discrimination around the globe. And I'm happy to say that at the Department of Labor, we have this wonderful division dedicated to the same type of work. And my undersecretary there, who's not with me today because she's out negotiating, doing the right thing, is the awesome Sandra Pulaski. Remember that name, because let me tell you, there are some great things coming out of the department, and especially her division. And I know we're celebrating the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. And you know, it was a horrific accident, tragedy, because the employers there knew very well what was happening on the ground. I mean, when you lock workers in and have to somehow go over all of their materials before they leave work and exit, and make them go through a corridor and shut them in like that and provide no protections or safety for them at all. What does that tell you? Do they honor workers? Do they care about profits more than workers? Maybe. Yes. And that's typically what we see happening all over the world, and unfortunately in some places here in the United States. And so we celebrate the fact that what happened as a result of the Triangle was that so many good worker protections came into place, so many laws, and that's when FDR and when Francis Perkins were right there to see what needed to be done. And thank goodness for that. But we still need good laws. We still need people to enforce the laws. And that's why the Department of Labor now, under this new administration, and I want to underscore new, because some people think that the Department of Labor hasn't changed. I know that that's not true in this room, but outside there's a lot of folks that kind of wish you would go back to the old ways. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. We have been fighting very, very hard to bring about increased enforcement, and I can't tell you how proud I am that I as a child of immigrants who came to this country many years ago, working very hard, just wanting to have a better way of life for their children, their 7 children. And mom and dad were both working in factories. Dad was a shop steward and helped to organize immigrant workers at a battery recycling plant, most dangerous type of industry. And if I could compare it to coal mines, maybe it's somewhere there. And I just came back from West Virginia yesterday to celebrate in memoriam the 29 lives of those miners. And you know, it's been 1 year, and you know what makes me angry? We still don't have laws to protect them. You know, we still don't have the force of our laws. I have good people on the ground out there, but I need more. I need better tools. The tools that we have are antiquated, and we need people to speak up about that and to help us. So last night when I was there, I asked the people at the dais that were with me, senators and congressmen, to not just say, oh, well, yes, it's a tragic moment for us to think about the 29 lives, but how many more lives can we save? That's really what this is about. And it isn't just in the coal mines, it's in the sweatshops, it's in construction, it's in the hotel and restaurant, it's around the globe. It's whether we're protecting children to keep them from going out and giving their lives to help provide for economic reasons for their families, and I understand that very well. And I share the pain and suffering that many of our young children have to go through to help put food on the table, because families, mothers and fathers can't afford and don't earn enough, because there's not enough of an economic incentive for employers to give and share that wealth that they do get. It doesn't trickle down. And I can say that because I know personally from my own family experience. My mother fled Nicaragua, in fact, because if she didn't, she'd probably be working in the coffee bean fields, just like everyone else at that time. And that was back in the 40s and 50s. Not a lot has changed out there. And not a lot has changed, I hate to say, out in Bangladesh. But we have a project out there through our iLab program, where we're working there in partnership, the Better Work program, where we're trying to realize that we can make some gains there in protections for workers, for families, and for children. So that it becomes a right for young children, and especially young girls, to be able to get educated. And that should be the priority. Not about forcing our communities to go to work in those kinds of conditions, not giving them the chance and ability to see that they can contribute to their own governments, to their society. That's what this is about. That's what we're doing at the Department of Labor, and that's what I know this forum is doing to help us celebrate those moments that we break through. And I'm so happy that I can serve right now at a time when we are making a big difference. And I say that because, you know, some of you know in this room I was a former member of the House. As a former member of the House, and as a congresswoman, you can get involved in all kinds of issues. You know, and one thing that really struck me when I came to the Department of Labor is that there were some people who wanted to restrict what I did. They wanted to close my voice down, you know? And I thought, oh my God, you know, this is a very powerful position. But how can I use it? How can I use it to help other people, to give them the voice that I know they need, to do the same things that I was doing as a member, a public servant, as a member of the House. And now I realize that we have that potential to do, whether it's working in OSHA, wage and hour, iLab, helping to free children from child labor, from women being trafficked, and from under and vulnerable communities that are not getting their wages due, their overtime or their salaries, or the fact that we have so many laws on the books that aren't being enforced, then I know I can make a difference. Because right now we have pushed the envelope. And we did it because we have a new administration. And I want to say, yeah, you should clap. You should This president, I mean, I have to give him credit, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Right. And Larry, people have to know that it wasn't just my doings or any of us in this room. There was a much greater force out there. There were people out there that said they wanted change. And we are making change. Now, think in the context of how things work around this place, in this bubble that we work in. Okay, for those of you that work in town, it is really hard, you know? And sometimes when you push those levers don't always want to go in your direction. Sometimes you even have people on your own side that want to, you know, skirt you and make you go in the wrong direction. And we're constantly in that battle. But you know what? We know why. There's a force out there that doesn't even want us, these voices, to be heard. Right. And you have to know that. And you have to know that you have power. You have to know that back home, the people you touch, the people you report to, or the people that you give information to, it's very important. What's happening in Wisconsin is just a little microcosm of what's taking place around different communities. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, there was a reaction, a domino effect across the country, reverberating about what happened, that one organic moment in Wisconsin where people said, I'm fed up. Right. We need to have a voice at the table. And I tell people, you know what? The L is back. It's not a bad word to pronounce. The L is back in labor.
There you go.
Labor. That means equality. That means equality and level the playing field for workers and for businesses that play by the rules. The ones that don't play by the rules, okay, we're going to be there. We're going to try to be there. But we also need help, because right now we're under severe attack right across the way on Capitol Hill. They want to eradicate, get rid of all the good programs that we've been able to institute. They want to take away 412 investigators in OSHA. They want to get rid of $4 billion worth of workforce training and monies and over, I don't know, millions that they want to take out of ILAB to combat child abuses and trafficking and labor abuse of children and women. How dare they? How dare they? And all I can say to you is we've got to stand together. And I thank you for this award tonight, but I know we have a lot of work to do. I'm only one, and we're like, you know, we're like the one little spigot. So all of us together can make that motor run, okay? And so I hope all of you will join us and lock arms with us and help work with us, because we still have a lot of work to do in this country. So many people are counting on us. So many people. And I didn't get here on my own. I got here because of people like you, people who care about the labor movement, care about working class people, care about suffering and vulnerable communities around this country and the world. And that voice has to be heard. And we are strong and we are mighty. So let's do it together. And thank you so much for inviting me. Larry, I love you. I love CWA. And I love the fact that he has a bigger fire in the belly sometimes than I do. But it's all for a good cause. It's to promote what the forum's doing and to continue to move ahead. And you know, people, at this time, I'm going to be real frank with you. We got to bite the bullet, okay? This world is not perfect. It is not perfect. And some of us in this room are not perfect. And some of the things that we go along with are not always perfect. But we have an opportunity to make a difference and change, and we've already started there. And there's so many people around the world that are watching us to see what's happening. We have some victories we can claim, but we need more. And the only way we can do it is if we lock hands and we work together and we are united. Because if they have their way, they will divide us, and we can't afford that. So thank you so much, and God bless you. Muchísimas gracias. And